It's called the Skype Translator. It's an app developed by Microsoft that translates conversations between speakers of different languages in real time. Have a look at today's demo between Microsoft's vice president in San Francisco and his German-speaking friend.
Ist es wahr, dass du bald nach London umziehst?
Is it true that you were soon moving to London?
Yes, I'm currently planning to move there sometime between the middle of June to the beginning of July, if everything goes per track.
Ja. Ich plane derzeit dort irgendwann zwischen Mitte Juni bis Anfang Juli zu verschieben, wenn alles geht. Aber verfolgen.
Well, joining me now is a host of Get Connected, technology expert Graham Williams. Good of you to be with us. Pretty cool stuff, eh? What do you think?
I think it's absolutely fantastic. It really is the next step in translation technology.
Why do this? Why is this one of the directions that they've focused on?
I think this is really the dream, being able to speak to anyone, anywhere on the planet at any time. Having that technology is something that we've talked about in science fiction for a long time. Douglas Adams had his Babel fish. Star Trek has its universal translator. So being able to break down those barriers and talk to anyone about any topic, I think is an important thing for us to communicate globally.
I can't figure out how they do it. How does it actually work?
Well, there are three steps. The first is speech recognition. It hears what you have said and it puts that into the computer as text. Then there's the machine translation, where it's translating what you said in English or in any language into another language. And then there's speech synthesis, where the computer will actually speak for you on the other end.
I mean, do we know yet how it does with like different accents and things like that? Because, I mean, that's hard enough for a real person to sometimes figure out what someone's saying.
Well, that's really the key at this point, is the advanced speech recognition. Now, we've seen that in the past. There's a great video on YouTube about a Scottish man trying to use Siri, and it was an absolute failure. But that really is the part that's coming along here. Microsoft is using what they're calling deep neural processing at this point. That works a lot the way that our brain does. So computers are starting to understand us the way that we understand each other.
All right, so this is just one of a couple of kind of cool-ish things that's going on. Google has also got something called the Word Lens, and it's a visual translation that you can use your smartphone on to decipher signs. Have a look at this. Well, that one's almost just as cool because it actually does all the print the exact same way too. What's your sense about that one?
Oh, it's a really smart app, and this is actually a good acquisition on Google's part. They bought them out a few weeks ago, and the idea here is obviously you can point your phone at anything and be able to read what that means. I think travelers around the world are really relieved by being able to see the bathroom is over there. So that's going to be a very popular technology as they roll it out to more smartphone platforms.
I guess so. Accuracy, I guess, is another concern. We were playing around with it earlier with Portuguese, and it didn't quite do it exactly.
This is really the key to what's going to happen with translation and interpretation over the next few years. In Canada, actually, we just approved a new service called VRS, Video Relay Service, for the deaf and hard of hearing, and that actually puts an interpreter between you and the person that you're talking to, because semantics are important. Being able to get that translation or that the interpretation happening at an accurate level still isn't 100%. So I think the technology is going to have to mature over the course of the next 10 or 20 years before we get to a point where we can actually have a very accurate conversation.
Moving fast though, eh? It's happening really quick.
It really is. I mean, when you take a look at it, we started out with things like Drag and Dictate for speech recognition, and we're getting into translation with Google Translate. These things are now coming together, and we're seeing these technologies working together to give us that translation model.
Yeah, you mentioned the universal translator. Not quite it, but almost, eh?
Not quite there. I can't wait till we can speak Klingon, though.
Very good. Good of you to be with us. Thanks so much.
Well, it's glad to be here.
That's the host of Get Connected, Graham Williams. Well, that is our show.